no cap sauce. We pour it so you can drip. With producer Dwayne Omarr.
Welcome to No Cap Sauce. Welcome to No Cap Sauce, and I'm producer Dwayne Omarr. This is episode 8, season 1. In the spring of 1996, I volunteered as a prayer line worker at TBN Ministries. It's always good to give back. And I believe I worked the prayer lines for about 2 weeks. First, we had to be trained the first week. And then the second week during a praise-a-thon, I worked the phone lines. And I did that as a seed because I believed that I'd be blessed for volunteering my time. And shortly after that, I met the host of one of their popular shows there. It was Jeff Finholt and Renee Finholt. And I don't remember the exact name of their particular show on TBN, but it was a popular show. And what made it a big deal is because Jeff Finholt had been a lead frontman of a satanic rock group by the name of Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath was originally led by Ozzy Osbourne. And when Ozzy Osbourne left the group, sometime after that, Jeff Finholt became the frontman. And, if you know anything about Black Sabbath, the name says it all. So when Jeff came out of that lifestyle, he was still dealing with some demons, literally. And he, now deceased, but there are testimonies that he gave himself, he and his wife, of how they had a lot of supernatural activity in their house. But anyway, this is not so much about that. But anyway, he had played in the 70s as the star of the Broadway play Jesus Christ Superstar. You can Google it and look that up. But Jeff Finholt was a notable and a very popular actor on that stage play. And it shattered records back in that day. And, I was just a pup at that time. So I never seen the play, but I heard about it. Fast forwarding some. Around the summer of 96 in Los Angeles, he was coming to speak at an event, and we connected by phone. He said, "Why don't you come on down?" I came down, and I didn't know he was going to ask me on the spot to play drums for him, so I ended up playing drums for Jeff Finholt at this event. And then every time he came to SoCal, he would ask me would I play drums, and I'd show up and I'd play drums. And I went in the studio with him a few times. We did a few tracks because even though he came out of the rock and roll world, he really liked R&B and he liked pop and hip hop. So we did a few tracks together, and then when he would go on the road, he'd try them out on his, I guess you'd call it, flock or congregation, and they would love it because it didn't look like he and those tracks would normally go together, but he was like the Robin Thicke before Robin Thicke, in terms of his vocal range and the type of execution vocally that he would deploy on these tracks. So anyway, Jeff Finholt was a master at his craft. We got close. I remember there was a time when his teenage daughter didn't come home from school, and he asked me, would you take a ride with me? And I met him about 45 minutes away from where I lived. And because our traffic was so bad on the 10 freeway at that time, he was in Claremont and I was coming from Pasadena. I said, you know what, why don't I just catch the commuter rail and you pick me up from the commuter rail, it'll be easier because I don't want to, you know, catch that smoke of that traffic coming back. He said, cool. So I got off somewhere, I believe the Claremont station, and off the commuter rail and the Inland Empire, and he picked me up. He was in a nice, I think it was like I don't know, a SL 500 or some nice white Benz. He picked me up from the train station, and he looked at me. He said, "Don't judge me." And I said, "Huh?" And he opened up his glove compartment, and there was like a 9mm in there. And the reason why he had it was legal, but he had got word that some gang members had kidnapped his daughter, but they were known to her. So we went, and he didn't want to upset his wife, so he wanted to go handle business. And we went, and his daughter was picked up without incident. I think when you got a big 6'4", 270-pound black man and a curly head, 6-foot white boy pulling up in the Benz, and they strap, you get little resistance. You know what I mean? So anyway, he picked up his daughter, and that was that. So after that, we got really, really cool, and he knew I was a ride or die, so he can call on me if he needed me, even if it had nothing to do with music. This is producer Dwayne Omarr, and this is No Cap Sauce. We pour it so you can drip. Please subscribe to and like this video, and don't forget the bell notification. So there came a time later on in that summer where he told me about a project that he was asked to be on the board of this project that was going to be massive, was going to be huge, was going to be seen around the world. It was going to be aired on secular and religious stations. And a minister by the name of, he's global, Morris Cirillo, was sponsoring, or at least co-sponsoring, an event called Washington for Jesus. And again, they were expecting, tens of millions of people to view it and hundreds of thousands of people to show up on the White House steps to view this, where they were going to pray and they're going to speak over the country, and they were going to have many artists like the New Boys and the Amy Grants and these kind of contemporary Christian artists, appealing primarily to the younger crowd. And he wanted me to put together something for that and minister, with a band at that event. And to keep it 100, at that time, my heart really wasn't in it because my mom's health had taken a turn for the worst. And I could have done it anyway, but I don't want to half-step if I'm going to do it, because I know my heart would not have been in the rehearsals, and I don't want to give God anything than my absolute best. So I told him, what if I can recommend someone to you? What do you know the guy? I said, I didn't know him personally, but I know the work that he's doing. And he's bubbling on the charts now. He has a record out, album called What You're Looking For, and I think it would be a good fit. He'd be different than everything else you have on a lineup. But I believe it would be a nice marriage and interface into what you're doing for the Washington for Jesus. It'll bring some soul, it'll bring a little bit of hip hop, but yet keep the integrity of the gospel for the event. And he said, okay, how did I contact him? What's his name? I said, his name is Kirk Franklin. And at that time they went by Kirk Franklin and the Family. So I did Kirk a solid without him even knowing that I did him a solid, because what happened was this. He used to come by, he was close with my Bishop Clarence McClendon out of Los Angeles. He had come to our church many times, but what I'm talking about, he wasn't the Kirk Franklin that you guys know him to be now. So at my prompting and at my urging, Jeff Finholt, being I think co-chairman of Washington for Jesus, he recommended Kirk Franklin. He had never heard of him, and neither had Morris Cerullo at the time, but he recommended Kirk Franklin to Morris Cerullo, and the rest is history. So when that event took place, Washington for Jesus took place, that was the kickoff. That was the level up for Kirk, because tens of millions of people who had not heard of him got to see him do his thing. And he puts on a concert. I know it's ministry, but he does his thing. If you Google it, you can see what the Washington Post and the New York Times wrote about it. In early November, Franklin was hospitalized with a head injury after tumbling off stage into the orchestra pit during a concert in Memphis. See, Washington for Jesus was like the Christian, what do you call that? What was that thing that Jimi Hendrix did? It was like the Coachella for Christians in '96. It was massive, and that's how the big door was open for Kirk, and then everything else is history. This is producer Dwayne Omarr. Thank you for watching No Cap Sauce, where we pour it so you can drip.
No cap sauce. We pour it so you can drip.
Please remember to subscribe. Smash the bell to be notified when a new video posts on the all-new official Dwayne Omarr YouTube channel.